One of the all-time BYU quarterback greats, Super Bowl champion, and NFL Hall of Famer Steve Young joining us on the Deseret First Credit Union Hotline as part of our Countdown to Conference special. Steve, first and foremost, it's great to have you back with us on BYU Sports Nation.
Always good to be with you guys.
What are your biggest takeaways from BYU's loss at Utah State last night, Steve?
It's super painful on a number of levels, obviously. I thought it was pretty obvious that, it was a game that we should win and this team that we should beat, and, nothing against the Utah State fight, and great job that they did. But there's a sense that, when you have a backup quarterback, and that's even with Bowen when he started the game, the rest of the team, there has to be a sense of rally that everybody really realizes that our game has to be upped, especially defensively. And you get the feel of that early on. It was like, okay, we're fine. But everyone else, backup quarterback, yeah, even third string, yeah, okay, we get that. So now we even, we close ranks even tighter, and we make sure, and and it seems like, okay, the quarterback didn't play well. Get that. Turnovers. Everyone, the running back's got to pick up the game. Defense got to pick up the game. And if everyone would have done that, we would have been okay. But it seems like not only did we have backup quarterbacks and the third-string quarterbacks, but then everyone else didn't play great, and that's when you really get in trouble.
Yeah, and seven turnovers certainly doesn't help. I want to rewind to 1982. You take over for Jim McMahon, who you could argue was the greatest, not just BYU, but college quarterback ever up to that point. So you start the season, you're a junior, you start 1-2, including a loss to Utah State and Logan. How did you deal with that at that time in a somewhat similar situation?
Yeah, it was brutal. You feel the weight of the world. You feel like, and remember BYU, we were close to undefeated every year. And so we won the WAC every year, and we went to the Holiday Bowl every year. And so if you replace Jim McMahon, you can't, because anything that goes wrong, it's your fault. Even if it's not, it's your fault. And so there's this tremendous pressure to perform and to make sure that things go well and make it feel like as if Jim McMahon was there. And that's impossible to do as a kid coming in and just kind of not knowing what you're doing. I remember thinking that, like, just move the ball. Don't be the reason you lose. That's why I tell every young quarterback, well, even in the NFL, backup quarterbacks, young, rookies, your goal is to not be the reason that the team loses. And if you can be, if the team loses, but if you're not the reason, then, we can live through that because that means you played okay. If you're the reason they win, that's a huge bonus. But do not be the person that takes away the opportunity for a really good team, a team that should win this game, and you took it away from them. And that was kind of the burden that you felt when you were playing, especially at those times.
BYU and NFL Hall of Famer Steve Young with us on BYU Sports Nation. Steve, what would you say to Ty Detmer today, who was dealing with multiple quarterback injuries, and his offense just isn't clicking right now?
Yeah, and it never has been, right? It's been a season, even with Tanner. This concern we got to be honest, it's not a concern we have because we have backup quarterbacks. It's a concern we've had even with our quarterback. And so you really have to say to yourself, and I think after the LSU game especially, you said, when we really didn't get anything done, everything's on the table now. Coaching, scheme, talent, what is exactly, is it all of the above? And we have to be very, very honest. And I think Ty's that way. Ty's very self-effacing, and someone who's he's very much in his head. He's gonna think it through and try to figure out exactly what the problem is. And if it's him, I think he'll be the first one to tell you too. So I suspect that he's going through kind of a sense of self-evaluation to make sure that whatever if he's making mistakes, if he's not, the scheme isn't right, if he's not doing the right things, then he can get those things fixed. And then if it really is just the quarterback, and we just don't have the guy that can go lead us, if that's truly what it is, and I don't know that it is, then you can start to deal with it. But if there's more to it, let's get it fixed. And a sense of urgency. You have some tough games against Utah and LSU. I get that. You get a week off, and you come out, and you get a lead. cannot turn no one turns the ball over 7 times. I did it, Georgia.
In '82, right?
Like, nobody does it, but I did it. Like, I know, I get it. We but that was me. I turned the ball over 6 times. I mean, the team played great. I mean, we should have beaten Georgia. We did beat them. Remember they had the ball. I remember it was driving rain the whole game, and I'd already made Terry Hoga All-American. He intercepted me 5 times, and he I mean, they handed out. It was 4th. I want to say it was 3rd and 1 down about the 30-yard line, and we were up. I can't remember exactly the score. We were up a couple points, and the quarterback, the ball shoots in the air from the snap, like so wet and rainy, and the ball shoots up in the air, and there's a big pileup on 4th down. It's like 4th and 1, and all of a sudden, Herschel Walker's got the ball like 2 yards ahead. And I just remember the official going, "First down, Georgia." I'm like, okay, this is we got gotten on this one. But that's after 6. That's how well everyone rallied. I screwed up so bad. We even lost when everyone rallied. So it happened. It's brutal. But the way the season's gone, this is not just a bad game with a replacement quarterback. There's bigger things that are happening that we need to be honest about.
You had a 14-7 lead despite 6 interceptions at Georgia. That's pretty crazy. You might be the most famous backup in football history, obviously, with Joe Montana and whatnot. So now BYU has a situation where there's some rhetoric from Kalani Sitake after the game about maybe the 4th-string Joe Critchlow, freshman off of a mission, might be the guy. Give us an idea of what it's like to be a backup and then prepare knowing, okay, this week I'm the guy. Things change.
It really is. It's about the person, too. Some guys, I don't know that I was a great backup, to be honest with you.
Your book revealed that.
I just wasn't, and I think I was in my head a lot, too. And I mean, that's you got that in the book, too. And a great backup is like a great pinch hitter. Like, get the bat, start swinging, and just let it rip. You know what I mean? And so, if Critchlow's that kind, I mean, you just know the personality. Because some guys they're ready to just, yeah, I'm ready, and I'll do a good job, and I'm not going to get overwrought about it, and you need somebody, you need somebody like that. And I mean, Coy was certainly, he was letting it rip. I got to give him credit. One of the things about backup is you don't want to, you don't want to be the reason they lose, and that's kind of what happened. But you also can't just sit there. And so there's like this fine line as a backup because you got to move the ball. You can't go 3 and out. Oh, sorry, the ball's got to go. And so because you don't know what you're doing, mostly, you just come up with stuff. You just do it. You just make it happen. And to me, the great backups are the guys that just get the ball moving. And even if with their legs, and that's not really efficient, it's not perfect, but the ball's moving, and they give some offense some confidence. Defense gets a rest. Everybody can kind of rally. Backup quarterbacking is really about just not being perfect, but getting the ball moving too.
Steve, we needed this today. We appreciate you joining us for our group therapy session on BYU Sports Nation.
Brutal. All my buddies, all of us that played back in the day, we have group texts, and we're just dying yesterday. It's brutal. So we got to rally. We have got to rally, boys. We've got to get this thing on track.
Absolutely. Hey, enjoy conference weekend, Steve. We'll talk to you again soon.